Hello, my name is Aaron Johnson, and this is my final presentation for Gemstar Productions. This is the balance sheet for the company. It shows assets, liabilities, and shareholders' equity. And this is the profit and loss statement. This is where you find revenue, cost, and expenses for the month of April. And it shows that our total net income was $1,833.12. This is a statement of cash flows for the company. This statement shows operating, investing, and financing activities. The total net cash provided by operating activities was $4,653.12. The net cash provided by investing activities is negative $13,953.12. And net cash provided by financing activities is $60,000. Total cash at the end of the period was $50,700. Ratios. The types of ratios I'm going to be talking about are current ratio, working capital, debt to assets, return on assets, and return on equity. Current ratio is 42.51%. This represents the company's ability to pay back short-term liabilities with short-term assets. Working capital is $47,880. The working capital is the capital of the business that is used in its day-to-day operations. Debt to assets is 65.43%, and this measures the degree of debt and leverage for the company. Return on assets was 2.91%. And that measures the effectiveness of use of assets. The return on equity was 8.396%, and that measures the return on investment. Budget. Here's our budget versus the actual, and it shows that Gemstar was over budget in all accounts for the month of April. Budget variances. There were variances in all accounts. All variances show that we were over budget, and our overall net income for the month was $1,092.15. Salaries expense. Salaries expense was over budget because we had to hire more staff to work our events. The depreciation expense was over budget because our work trucks needed to be repaired. And so our equipment rental was over budget because we had to rent more trucks because ours were being repaired. And the insurance expense was over budget because we hired more staff, so we had to provide them with insurance. The office supplies was over budget because the new hires needed supplies to work with. Utilities was over budget because we had to rent more office space, so we had to use more utilities. The interest expense was over budget because the interest on our loans was more than we had originally thought it would be. Solutions. The solutions for us being over budget would be more planning, to have a better budget, to rent better equipment and purchase better supplies, so we don't have any issues with that, and to enforce more internal controls within the company. Internal controls. Here's a list of internal controls that I think could really help our company. Dual signatures on checks, restricted use of agency credit cards, ensuring that company assets are only used for official business, purchase order authorization, and closing dormant accounts. Dual signatures. The company should require that there are 2 authorized signatures on every check so that we can make sure that the check is legitimate and payment is correct. And this way, if 2 people are checking it, fraud is more likely to be discovered. Restricted use of cards. We need to limit the number of cards and number of employees using them. Credit cards should only be used for business expenses, and the company should examine Bank statements to ensure that the purchases are appropriate and business related. Assets only used for business. The company should regularly examine expense reports, phone bills, and credit card charges. An employee should not be taking advantage of company assets. The assets provided to them should only be used for business purposes. Purchase order authorization. Whenever there is a delivery to the company, there should always be an employee present to sign for it. This way, the employee is responsible for the delivery, and if anything goes wrong, we know who was responsible for signing for it. Closing dormant accounts. Only bank accounts that are active and monitored should be opened for the company. Dormant accounts are vulnerable for fraud because people aren't watching them and they aren't being monitored as closely as possible.